welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dan Oweiler, who is here on behalf of Sterling Financial. Well, Dan, thank you for joining me today again.
Good to be here, Lisa.
Nice to have you.
Always fun to chat with you.
Oh, good. Well, you know, one of these days we'll get you in here. So soon enough, as soon as
I'll open things back up a little bit.
Yes. So we're getting there. So today we're going to be talking about, of course, retirement planning, which is always a good idea to do early rather than later, which I'm sure you certainly advise your clients to do, correct?
Well, we try to get them to do some planning, but like many of us, we procrastinate and put things off until we retire. But, you know, some people do a good job of accumulating assets, getting money into their 401k or IRAs. And once they decide to retire, they haven't done much planning in that regard of what I'm going to do going forward.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's, like you said, better earlier than later. So I know you have some slides, so we'll bring those up. So let's talk about the first one. So it's a retirement income planning.
Yeah, obviously the monthly income is what's critical in retirement, because income is what pays the bills, not assets. I could have $1 million vacant piece of land, but it's not generating any income to me. And so I might be asset rich, but cash poor on a monthly basis. And so income planning becomes very critical. And we always have people coming in and saying, Dan, do I have enough money to last me the rest of my life? And the question I ask them is, well, when are you going to die? You know, and you just don't know. So, right. So having a secure income stream is always critical in retirement. And one of the slides I'm showing is I'm just taking an assumption of a $5,000 a month monthly need, paying rent or paying mortgages, along with food and entertainment and insurance and all the things that come in our monthly bills. I'm assuming that we need $5,000.
Right.
Well, then we want to look at what is the monthly income that we have coming in from secure sources. And the secure sources are things like Social Security, pensions, annuities, those types of things that will provide income, rain or shine, day in and day out. Mm-hmm. And on this example, I'm showing a $2,500 a month, $2,000 coming from Social Security, $500 from a little pension. We don't see pensions much anymore, but there are some people, government workers or teachers or some, they have some pension. But I'm showing a small pension of $500. That means that we have $2,500 coming in. We need an extra $2,500 a month to meet our bills.
Right.
And we have an investment portfolio of $600,000.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, we need about a 5% return on that $600,000, which will generate $30,000 a month or a year, and that equates to $2,500 a month. So as long as we're getting that 5% on the $600,000, everything is great.
I mean, as of now, the majority of people could pretty much get 5% with maybe a portfolio of stocks and things like that.
I usually tell my clients we're trying to do somewhere between 4 to 6% and kind of keep your money fairly safe. You don't want to be too aggressive as you get into retirement, because losing money at this stage in your life is much more critical than earning an extra 2 or 3%, because right. If you can get 4 to 6 versus 8 to 10, but you risk losing your principal, it's critical. And this next slide kind of points out what has to happen, that if you ended up losing 35% in the market, which is very, last March it went down 50%, but it's come back up. But if we have a drop of 35%, that means we lose $150,000 in our portfolio. Well, we still need our 25%, but we only have $350,000 to work with now. That means we have to get 6 3/4% on our money, which means we have to take more risk or we have to start dipping into principal, one of the two.
Right. You know what? Can I ask you a question regarding age? So at what point
I'm
do
very
you,
young.
pardon me?
I'm very young.
Yeah. Yes, so am I. At what point do you suggest people start this planning? Like what age?
Well, I think that it's not so much that is as you start to move into retirement or thinking about retirement, people retire at different ages. And losing money prior to retiring is going to affect you much more than losing money later on. And so I say if you're going to retire a year from now, it's not too early to start moving money into a more secure, protected state as opposed to continuing growing that, because you never know what's going to happen. You probably had people retiring not this January, but in January of 2020, and then the market collapsed in March. And so we need to do some things to start preparing prior to retirement. It doesn't need to be too long, but a year or two doesn't hurt to start thinking about those things.
Right. Well, good. That's good to know. Now, one thing that you advise people about is called prosperity planning. What does that mean?
Well, it's a fancy word for putting a plan together for you, and we think a plan ought to provide comfort to you, knowing that you've got a good plan in place that gives you the confidence that you need going forward, and it also allows you to control your plan and make adjustments going forward. And so prosperity planning means that you're going to have the peace of mind that you need going forward and still be able to control things as things change from time to time. Mm-hmm. And so we call it prosperity planning, and other people might call it a financial plan or whatever it might be, but that's kind of it takes, 5 different parts of this prosperity planning.
Okay.
First,
all right.
Go ahead.
No. So go ahead. So elaborate on beyond comfort, confidence, and control. Tell me a little bit more about the various
prosperity planning involves your investments, obviously, your monthly income. Obviously, your family and your heirs come into play of how you want this money to go to your heirs.
Right.
Tax planning is always critical, especially what might be coming forward down the line and under the new administration. And healthcare. Am I going to need long-term care? Do I have sufficient assets for that? And so all of those things come into play in setting up this financial plan, or prosperity planning as we call it. And they integrate one with another. Your investments should coordinate with your income plan. Your taxes should be, coordinated with your investments and income. And all these things ought to be interrelated. It's just not one bucket versus the other. They're interactive.
Okay. Now, as a financial planner, tell me a little bit about you're kind of like a one-stop shop. So tell me why that's the case.
Well, there's 3 different approaches to doing a financial plan. The first approach is what I call a product provider, or it's self-directed. I'm very interested. Let's say I'm an investor and I'm very interested in choosing my own investments and doing everything myself. That's what I call self-directed plan. Mm-hmm. Well, you can call up a Fidelity or a Vanguard and you can purchase your own stocks and you can kind of put together your own plan and hopefully everything turns out okay. That's what we call a self-directed plan.
Okay.
The next level is getting what they call an investment advisor. You can go call Merrill Lynch up and you can be connected with a stockbroker, a TD Ameritrade, or any of the brokerage houses. They have what is called templates for certain risk. If I have certain risk score, then I'm going to have this portfolio. If I have this risk score, I'm going to have. It's not really designed for a customized plan, but it's more based upon your risk tolerance, and they have, basically template investment portfolios to put you into.
Okay.
The final one is a little bit more personalized. It's holistic. They take all of those different aspects that we talked about, your investments, income, family, and they integrate it into a customized, personalized plan.
Okay.
And we help people do that.
Right.
And it's not right or wrong. Somebody might want to do it themselves. Other people think, hey, I'm going to take advantage of an expert and utilize a holistic approach. And that's kind of what we do.
Okay. All right, good. Well, it's nice to know that, you can, that you can talk to people about what they're looking to do, how, like you said, how risky they want to be or how non-risky. And you obviously have the experience of knowing all of those different things. And like you said, you can help customize a plan for someone as opposed to the other two that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's not a right or wrong approach. It's just what fits the person going forward. I need some electrician or electrical work in my house, and I'll call an electrician because they kind of know what they're doing.
Right.
And I could do it myself, just like a financial plan, but I might get electrocuted once or twice along the way. But I have that opportunity to do that. But we put together in what we call our retirement weather report. This is what we call our financial plans because it kind of gives you a forecast going forward of what your retirement might look like. We analyze your current portfolio, put together a projected income stream for you. All these things that we do and for our clients, it's fairly comprehensive. And as we get to the end of this, it provides that comfort, the control that you want, and those things that are able to provide those things for you in
Right.
retirement. It's just a matter of giving you peace of mind at this stage in your life.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I love everything you just mentioned. It's very comprehensive and very easy to understand. So I am sure that our residents really do appreciate you taking the time.
Well, hopefully, if they have any questions, they can contact us at our website, sterlingfa.com, or give us a jingle on the phone at 949-859-8900. We'd be happy to set up a time for it.
Perfect, Dan. Thank you again.
All right, Lisa.
We'll be right back after this.